Happy Victory Monday, Broncos country. We got the biggest win, not just of the Sean Payton era, but I will say the biggest win this franchise has seen since Super Bowl 50. Now, not really saying much since it's been really bad, but the reason I say that is because it is so significant in the Broncos' development, where they are as a team, and them wanting to reach the next level to actually be a contender in the AFC. It was a massive win. First time the Broncos have won in Philadelphia since 1986. First time the Broncos have come back and won a game against that quality of an opponent on the road in the Sean Payton era. And before this, we were 1 in 122 in games where we entered the fourth quarter down by 14 points or more. And we came back and we won. And we did all that against the Super Bowl champions who, by all accounts, were at full strength. So kudos to this team, man. But we're going to break down a lot of the game. What went wrong for the Broncos early? What went right? How did they turn it around? Who gets some game balls? What were the biggest moments? And then we're going to look ahead to the London game when we're playing the New York Jets, man. So I'm excited to dig into all this. I hope you guys find some of the content on here useful and unique, different perspective than you've seen elsewhere. So like and subscribe if you're not already, guys. But definitely let me know in the comments below how you guys are feeling after the Broncos get a massive, massive win in Philadelphia. So, guys, why did the Broncos win this game? How did they win this game? I'm telling you guys, we won this game because we have finally found and established a new identity. And what I mean by that is we've actually committed to running our offense through the run game, through J.K. Dobbins, through R.J. Harvey, and most importantly, through this offensive line. I was so incredibly pleased by Sean Payton yesterday as a coach. I think he really was in his bag on the play calling standpoint, but he did an unbelievable job of staying patient and sticking with the game plan. Down 14 points going into the fourth quarter, it's so easy to veer away from wanting to run the football. He said, no, we ain't going to do that. We're going to keep running. We're going to run it down their throat. We're going to make it easier for our quarterback and open things up downfield. And that's exactly what happened, man. And the Broncos did all of the things that we talk about, that I always talk about, are the keys to winning games, right? Win the turnover battle. We were even there. So even for me, I always look at that as a win, especially when it's 0-0. No teams turn the ball over. Very clean game from that standpoint, right? I want to be able to get more plays on offense than the opposing team gets. We ran 70 plays. The Eagles ran 55, right? And I also want to outrush opponents. Broncos ran for 130 yards. The Eagles ran for 45. And then one of my most important things that I look at in a game that, not a lot of people talk about is the time of possession. 2 weeks in a row now, baby. The Broncos have won the time of possession battle. 34 minutes and change to 25 minutes and change against the Eagles. And that is massive. We basically beat the Eagles by playing their style of offense. And that's what I really enjoyed about this game, man. The Broncos stayed patient. Now, it was ugly for the first three quarters. I will say that, right? And I wouldn't even say the first three quarters. I would say like the first half and in the first drive of the third quarter for the Eagles. After that, it really started to even out. You kind of saw the Broncos find some life after the Eagles went down and had the long Saquon Barkley touchdown catch. But, it was one of those things where early in this game, I wouldn't even say the offense was inept. I thought we did a lot of good things. I thought we were running the ball pretty well. I thought we were able to find completions. I liked what Bo was doing in terms of taking the check down, not forcing things. But it was again those little things that added up to be very important, right? Early in the game, Bo Nix throws a dime down the sidelines to Cortland Sutton. Sutton ends up dropping it, right? We have a long run. It's taken back by a holding call. And then we have an illegal formation that basically kills a drive. And then Bo Nix takes a bad sack that he shouldn't have taken. It takes us out of field goal range. So it was those same kinds of things, the mistakes, the pre-snap errors that were really getting us. But we stuck true to it. We knew that if we could clean some things up, man, it was going to flip around. And that's exactly what happened in the fourth quarter. The Broncos were able to just really impose their will on this Eagles team. They felt like they wore them down. They took advantage of the matchups. Bo Nix played incredibly well. J.K. Dobbins was an absolute stud. Sutton, again, big-time catches. And even has some wonderful contributions, man, from guys like Franklin. I thought Troy Franklin did a really good job with the opportunities that he was given. It was nice to see Evan Ingram involved back in the offense. He had an amazing catch, 18-yard catch across the middle that really got the first scoring drive going. It was a great catch by him, and then obviously the touchdown grab that he has. Contributions everywhere. And then Sean Payton, man, just putting his nuts on the table. Talk about The Simpsons, right? Where the guy's, I don't know what his name is, but he's walking around with his nuts in the wheelbarrow. That was Sean Payton yesterday. Just talking about going for two. Right now, listen, I will say I felt like it was a stupid decision at the time, and even after we got it, I felt like it was kind of a dumb decision. But reflecting back on it, there was some genius to it because there was a lot of time left in the game. The Broncos offense was cooking, so he liked the momentum. He didn't want to be put in a position where he felt like he was going to tie the game. He wanted to feel like he was going to be put in a position, regardless of what happened, that he was going to win the game. So getting a 1-point lead allowed for it. He also had trust that the defense had figured something out. And they did. And it all worked out perfectly because the Broncos were able to get the ball back, take a whole lot of time off the clock, get down inside the 10, get a field goal with about 1:30 left, and it forces now the Eagles to go all the way down, to get a touchdown to win the game. And most importantly, we made them burn their timeouts on the drive before. So they had to do that with no timeouts. It was perfect game management, perfect execution. Unbelievable to see, man. So kudos to everybody. Sean Payton was amazing. He gets my game ball. Bo Nix gets a game ball. Obviously, I just thought he was so good yesterday. I really did. I thought not just in the fourth. I thought overall he played such a good game. He took what the defense was giving him. Early, man, he was facing a lot of pressure. They were all up in his face. They were hitting him a lot, and he didn't waver. He didn't waver at all. He kept going at it, and eventually he started making some big-time throws. And you can look all over the film, and you can see all the big-time throws that he consistently had yesterday. Only a couple misses, sure, but a lot of very, very big-time throws. You talk about the curl route deep to Sutton on 3rd and 15. You talk about the pass across the middle to Evan Ingram was a huge throw, great ball. Great throw on the sidelines to Troy Franklin to get into the red zone. He just had a lot of them, man. I thought it was awesome. And even the touchdown throw was great. The way that the offense, it was really good execution from everybody, but just a great job by Bo Nix. So shout out to him. Nick Bonito, man. This guy is on pace right now for 25 sacks roughly this season. 23 to 25 sacks. He's on pace right now. Ridiculous. Absolute game wrecker. He's been phenomenal against the run as well. Every time there's an opportunity where they're just going to unleash him on 3rd downs, he's over there making plays, rushing the quarterback, muddying the pocket, getting sacks. He's an absolute terror out there, man. 7 sacks so far through 5 games for Nick Bonito. I expect for that to continue. He's been a stud. This entire defense has been really good. And obviously Cortland Sutton, he gets a huge game ball. After that really tough drop early, I thought he was just so clutch. Big time catches, back shoulder throws, 50-50 balls. He was going up there and getting them, and Bo Nix did a really good job of giving him those opportunities, man. So kudos to him. And then after watching the All-22 film, there was a couple guys that I felt like, they might not have played a lot, but, man, when they did, they made some key plays at key moments. And one of the guys I wanted to shout out was Tyler Bidet. I can understand why they have him as a 3rd down back. Very good pass protector. Very good. Also a weapon in the screen game. He had a really nice screen catch that, ended up, I think, going for 18 yards. That kept the drive alive. But he had a really clutch, really, really clutch pass protect that helped Bo keep, have another extra second to be able to deliver a beautiful football. And obviously we saw RJ Harvey, he missed that pass protection rep, and it ended up being called a fumble, but it was overturned to be an incomplete pass, but it was close. And so it was a little rough to see. Obviously you're not going to expect a rookie running back, especially a running back, he's just raw as a running back in general, and RJ Harvey, to be really good at pass pro, but a great learning moment for him. But I wanted to give a special shout out to Tyler Bidet because I thought he played really well yesterday. Evan Ingram, I thought he was awesome. I guess him and Sean Payton got into some sort of altercation on the sidelines, but I thought Evan Ingram was great. Making the most out of his opportunities. He looked explosive. He looked better. He looked healthier yesterday. So hopefully this is just the building block to him eventually exploding. And then, man, this guy shows up every week, and no one wants to talk about him. We talk about Riley Moss because I think he needs to be on a short leash. We can have a separate video for that. I'm sure they'll talk about it on Horsepower Hour tonight, which I will not be a part of, but make sure you tune in and watch those guys. But Jaquan McMillan, he was strapped down yesterday. He is so good on the blitz. He's so good tackling. He's so good sniffing out those screens. He was everywhere yesterday. Super sticky coverage. I thought Jaquan McMillan played a phenomenal game yesterday, and it was great to see Jahdae Barron late in the game, lined up basically one-on-one with Dallas Goedert and get the PBU. He only played 10 snaps yesterday, but I thought he made the most out of those snaps. He was targeted 3 times. He allowed 1 catch, and it went for 0 yards. He was good, man. He was good. He had a really great tackle. It kind of sniffed out the screen as well to Devontae Smith and was able to make a play. So I thought he looked good in his limited time. But Jaquan McMillan has been balling. And another guy I want to give a special kudos to that's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but DJ Jones was a menace yesterday, especially after Landon Dickerson went out. He was terrorized. He was collapsing the pocket, even on just one-man rushes that they had or 3-man rushes. And he was a beast in the run game. Absolutely blew up a Saquon Barkley run. And a really key drive when the Eagles were trying to get back some of that momentum. I thought DJ Jones played really well. So that was big. That was really, really big. But, man, you talk about this game and you talk about the Broncos putting together drives when they needed them the most in the fourth quarter and how it ended up happening. And it's crazy how good this offense can look and how in rhythm this offense can look when they're not hurting themselves with penalties, right? They have a couple drives, in the third quarter that you could start seeing they were getting that momentum. And again, it would peak its ugly head. But then, fourth quarter starts, they had a 10-play drive, 64 yards, took 4 minutes off the clock, and it was just beautiful, beautiful mix. They're able to go all the way down the field and score. They're able to overcome a couple of penalties on the drive, but most importantly, they made sure that they scored when they got into the red zone. And then immediately the defense forces a quick punt and the Broncos get the ball back. They go 6 plays, 72 yards. You got to love that. And one of them, man, everybody wants to talk about some of the calls that went our way. They seem to forget about the calls that went completely against us a lot of the times in the game as well. But, Pat Bryant gets called for a terrible offensive pass interference call. Terrible. It would have been 3rd and 1. Instead, the OPI makes it 3rd and 15. Broncos overcome that. That was one of the biggest moments of the game with the Bo Nix pass to Cortland Sutton, where he's able to make the catch beyond the first down marker, turn it upfield, get 34 yards, and then bang. Immediately after that, 11-yard touchdown pass to Evan Ingram. And we off and rolling. Then they go for 2 and we get it. So great to see them in rhythm and also overcome some of the adversity, overcome the bad calls and some of the bad mistakes that we make as a team. Those are some of the biggest moments of the games. Ain't no doubt about it, man. That was huge. So overall, an amazing game. I love the grit that this team showed. I think it was absolutely a signature win. And again, why do I say it's the biggest win since Super Bowl 50? Well, I think it's because, when you looked at this team last year, in the games that we were supposed to win, the teams that we were supposed to beat, we had no problems beating them. So that wasn't an issue. We weren't worried about that. But in one score game, we were 1-8 last year. In a one score game this year, we were 1-2. If you want to even consider the Tennessee Titans game a one score game. I mean, it was by technicalities, but I wouldn't even count that. So if you're not, then we were 0-2 this year in one score games. And when we play quality opponents, they're usually one score games, which is a positive, but we would not find a way to win, which was a big burden. But we overcame that. And we overcame that and all of the things stacked against us on the road, early kickoff, Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles on a short week with a trip to London looming the following week. All of these are disadvantages. And we overcame all that and we were able to still get the win. So that's why I think it was such a big win for this team. And I think it gives them even more confidence that they had that, I feel they were very confident that they were a good team, but this gives them the confidence that they can play the best of the best and end up winning those games. And, as long as they are focused and together as a team. And I loved it. And I loved the energy. I loved how everybody was happy for each other. I just thought it was such a great game. I thought Sean Payton did an amazing job. Something about that guy, man. When the calendar turns to October, Sean Payton starts cooking, and he absolutely was in his bag yesterday. So kudos, man. Amazing to be a Bronco fan. What a great Monday it is today. Broncos are in London. This is going to be a fun week as they're in London. I'm going to be curious to see how, they talked about their routine and everything's going to be the same. Curious if it's actually going to be like at the same times as it normally is and all of that. And listen, I get it. We're playing the Jets, right? The Jets are 0-5. The Jets have kind of been the laughing stock for a long time. But let me tell you guys something, all right? This Jets team is going through, I think, a very important rebuild, very similar to the rebuild that we went under when Sean Payton first got here. We had Russ as our quarterback. I think right now, Aaron Glenn, I think he's going to be the right coach for this franchise. I just have a feeling. And I think that they are figuring out who are the right guys on their team, who are the right character guys that they want, and who are the guys that that just don't fit. They're in that moment. Because, yes, you look at them, they're 0-5. You look at the point differential, they're at -45. But they've shown these flashes of being really good, and they just beat themselves up a lot. So are they a team the Broncos should absolutely crush? Yes. But, man, it's London. They're a desperate team. They're going to be trying all sorts of crazy tricks out of the book. The Broncos cannot come out flat after a very emotional victory against the Eagles. They cannot come out flat against the New York Jets. I don't care who your opponent is. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because all they've done is show that they don't usually overlook opponents. But, coming off of, again, a really emotional week, maybe they're kind of feeling themselves a little bit. They could come out flat. And one thing I know about this NFL, man, is anybody can get beat at any time, anywhere. It does not matter. And this is a technical away game, but it's an away game for both teams, but it's funky things happen in London. So I don't want to see the Broncos, overlooking the Jets or anything like that. They got to go. It's a business trip. They're going out to London. There's not going to be any. I like the precedent that it seemed like Sean Payton has already set. But it's a business trip. They got to go out there and they got to take care of this game. Because if they somehow, some way lose to the New York Jets in London, you have just completely erased all of the great things that you've done the previous week against the Eagles. This is a game that you need to build off of. The Broncos are primed to do so, not just from the way that the team is looking, but how the schedule is kind of panning out for them as well, and really until we get to the bye week in week 11. So looking forward to that. Hopefully the Broncos can continue to, limit their penalties and really start clicking and leaning into that identity that they found on offense. Let's talk about J.K. Dobbins real quick. Sorry, it's a little bit of a longer video today because I'm not going to be on Horsepower Hour later. MVP of the season so far, J.K. Dobbins. What a signing. I knew J.K. Dobbins was going to be a solid running back for us. The biggest the worry that I had was health. But after the draft, we got R.J. Harvey. I was like, okay, he's kind of a perfect fit. Knock on wood, so far so good with the health standpoint. We've been using him a lot. Are we relying too much on on J.K. Dobbins? Is it one of those where if he does get injured, which his injury history will tell us that he will miss some games. I hope not. That's kind of what history tells you. Are we relying on him too much, and are we not going to be able to overcome it if that situation were to come out? Just something to think about. So I love it. I love that J.K. Dobbins got 20 carries yesterday. Thought it was great. But we got to find times where we need to really get R.J. Harvey up and going. Get him some reps. And, listen, if we're able to get off to a fast start against the Jets, feel like we're very much in control of that game. I would like to see a lot more R.J. Harvey than J.K. in this game. That would be a really good opportunity to get R.J. Harvey going so that he's prepared to step in should he ever need to. Just something to think about. Same thing on the receivers, man. Are we relying too much on Cortland? It's working wonderfully now. But can we overcome if he has to miss some injuries too? So those would be some of the minor concerns that I got. But overall, man, I love the way that this team is playing. I really love the progress that Bo Nix is making. And it has been pretty significant so far already this season. His footwork is more cleaned up. You saw it one time yesterday where he had that ugly footwork. It ended up being a completion, a much easier pass to something deep. But I like how poised he looks. He looks a lot more decisive. He's doing much better manipulating defenses with his eyes. I think his vision is just overall better as well, and he's okay making the safe check down throw, which he should be. So kudos to this team, man. Let me know how you guys are feeling down below in the comments. What was your biggest takeaway from this Broncos game yesterday? And how do you feel like these next few weeks are going to pan out for us? Very winnable games. Do you think we go on a little bit of a run? Curious to know what you guys think below in the comments. Otherwise, y'all be sure to take it easy, man. Enjoy your Victory Monday. And until the next video, go Broncos. Peace out.